Let's make some noise. Come on.
Right on, Nick Foles. Let's make some noise indeed. Welcome back, everybody, to the final word here on the SRF Sports Network with your boy MattyB on the call on our Thursday night. Take you to the weekend episode as we are wrapping up another broadcast week on the network. And word salad is on the menu tonight because that's what you got if you were tuned in at around 1:30 this afternoon for the end of season press conference between Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman. Word salad heaped upon nonsense, heaped upon no straight answers, and heaped upon another year, another year of this. We're going to get into the press conference tonight because there were some interesting things not said in this press conference. We're going to break down the press conference. We're going to rewatch it tonight here on the show tonight. I'm going to replay this press conference. We'll jump in intermediately and edit it, throw in our little 2 cents, have some fun with it. As the Eagles had their end of season press conference today, Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni addresses the media. Again, I understand. It's not that I'm asking for much of these things. I get what these things are. I know you're never going to get a straight answer. It'd be nice if you could. It would be nice that the media would also continue to press an issue that was not really resolved. And, we're just we're gonna get into this, and maybe I missed something the first time around. Maybe I'll catch something different this time around. I don't know, but I think I pretty much caught all of it the first time. But we're gonna try it anyway and see what happens. So that is going to be what we get into tonight. A little Howie Roseman, a little Nick Sirianni, and a lot of word salad. So that'll be on the menu tonight. The Flyers are out in Pittsburgh, and the Sam Ersson era has begun and ended as the Flyers are trailing 4-1 as they get ready to start the third period out in Pittsburgh. Ersson, 4 straight goals, or actually 3 goals. Flyers scored a goal. Ersson gives up another one. 2 in the first, 2 in the second. He has given away to Alexei Kovalov since then, and the Flyers are looking like they're skating towards yet another loss tonight. And I will have you on post-game duties tonight because, yes, not only have you stumbled upon the final episode of the Final Word for the week, but you've also stumbled upon the twofer, the notorious twofer episode, as we are going to transition at some point when this game goes final out in Pittsburgh to the Flyers post-game. And I will give you a little 2-for-1 action for that tonight between the Flyers and the Pittsburgh Penguins, as ain't looking good for the orange and black as they continue to struggle. I mean, struggle. So hopefully they make a little third period comeback here. I guess it's not really, again, out of the realm of possibility. It is the Pittsburgh Penguins, but it ain't looking good, man. It's looking like the honeymoon might be over for the Flyers in 25-26. So a little 2-for action. Phillies are in the news tonight as they've signed a player. Yeah, hold on. It's not Bo Bichette. It's not Kyle Tucker. It's not JT Realmuto. It's not even Harrison Bader. But they've signed a player. And we'll get into that. Well, a little bit more fallout from the Rangers Suarez trade or signing yesterday. We'll discuss some of that. And, again, we're getting a day. Every day that nothing happens, we get a day closer to the start of the season. So we'll have some fun with that tonight on the show. All that, plus, of course, your day in Philadelphia sports history. No of the night and no card tonight. Sorry. With the extra added responsibility of doing a post-game show, I'm not going to do the other stuff. So it is what it is. We did the last 2 nights of cards, so that was a positive sign. But yes, I got to get back into it a little bit more consistently. But no card show, no card review, and no of the night tonight. But you will get a post game show. So taking something away, yeah, I'm adding something in. So that's just the way it's going to have to be. So make sure you're tuned in because we're going to have some fun tonight. Ricky Deal chimes in. What's up, Ricky? Let's go Flyers. Ricky, are you watching the same game I am? I don't know. It's hard to get motivated, man. Joe Hale says, what's up, everybody? Where does Kyle Tucker land in MLB free agency? I don't know. I know where he's not landing, and that's probably here. I don't know. I don't know where Kyle Tucker goes. Is it against the realm of possibility Kyle Tucker ends up in New York with the Yankees? Is that against all possibility? Does he end up with Boston? Does he end up here? I don't know. I don't know any Joe. I'd like to pride myself in having a good pulse on this type of stuff, but this year, last year, over the last 3 or 5 seasons, free agency has been terrible. The way these players wait this thing out, I don't know where he lands. I'll tell you what. I'll make a prediction, Joe. He lands with a contender. He's not going to Colorado. He's not going to Sacramento, and none of the Florida teams. Probably not the White Sox. Teams like that. But someone's going to pony up the money for him. And it's funny as we go deeper and deeper into this, and every day goes by with nothing. The question does start to, and this obviously favors the players, right? This 100% favors the players that are negotiating, because these teams are starting to get a little concerned. It's getting a little close. Now, I would not be surprised, because we've seen it before, that the Phillies might even go to spring training without a Bo Bichette signing. They might go to spring training without JT Realmuto. They may actually start spring training without any of these players here. And maybe they add them during spring training. I would not be surprised at this point, honestly. I would not be surprised. Now, I would be very surprised if they don't do something by the start of the regular season. But as far as spring training goes, I wouldn't be surprised anymore. They've done that before. Remember in 22? They added Kyle Schwarber and Nick Castellanos both during spring training. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen for the Phillies and for a lot of these players and a lot of these teams. There's some really good free agents still out there without homes. And I know, Joe, you said on this show last night that you expected to see something over the weekend. I don't know, man. I don't know. And you also said that a good theory to think of is that the Phillies have made the deal with Bo Bichette. They're not making it public. And right now, behind the scenes, they're feverishly working on an Alec Boehm trade. And maybe they're waiting to sort of announce both at the same time. I don't know. You could be right. But I would think that at a certain point, as a fan base goes, you got to give us something, man. You got to dangle some meat on the stick here. Get us a little interested in what's happening with your baseball club. We are running out of time. But to answer your question, I have no idea. No clue where he goes. But I can tell you where he's not going. Tucker goes to the Mets. Again, that's not out of the realm of possibility. Cohen's got stupid money, and he'll spend it. And, they've been pretty much dormant, lost out on some big names, added some pieces, but they're looking for another compliment. They really haven't replaced Alonso yet. But, by the way, it's 6-1 now, Penguins over the Flyers. Man, that's just 4-1, man. How did I get to 6? Oh, Lordy Lord. Listen, the Flyers defense tonight has been terrible. Terrible. The first 2 goals of the night were power play goals that the Penguins scored. That was a bad goal, man. First 2 goals of the night were power play goals that were scored by the Penguins with offensive players literally camped out at the Flyer doorstep, as that continues to be a problem with the Flyers. And their special teams in general are a problem this year. They're shorthanded. Their penalty kill stinks. Flyers penalty kill is terrible. It's less than 80% effective. And that's not going to work in the NHL. And, of course, don't get me started on the power play. But, again, more to follow on when this nightmare becomes a final out in Pittsburgh. Right now it's 6-1 Penguins, about 15 minutes remaining in the game. It's safe to say that this game's over. But as far as Kyle Tucker goes, I don't know. I would not be surprised if he ends up in New York with the Mets or the Yankees or anybody in New York. I think they will be, Ricky. We'll get around. We'll see if we can get around to it. But let's get things rolling here on the show. Let's get things rolling on the program. Let's get things rolling on your Thursday night with our day in Philadelphia sports history. Let's strap in, strap on, strap up, keep your head, hands, and feet inside the car at all times. And here we go. On this day back in 1965, in one of the more influential trades in basketball history, that's almost showing off my basketball skills tonight. The San Francisco Warriors traded Wilt Chamberlain to the Sixers for Paul Newman, Connie Durkin, Lee Shafford, and $150,000 in cash. The move returned Chamberlain, the world's greatest basketball talent, to his roots in Philadelphia, where he had started in high school, and for the East Coast Warriors, remember, the Philadelphia Warriors, and immediately legitimized the upstart Sixers franchise. Interestingly enough, both teams had the right idea. The Sixers immediately improved to 55-25 in 1966 from 40-40 the previous year. Chamberlain's first full season back in Philly. Similarly, the Warriors climbed to 35-45 in 66 from a disastrous 17-63 in 65. But it was the 67 campaign which would literally determine the winner and loser of the trade. The Sixers and Warriors met in the 67 finals, with the Sixers winning the series 4-2 for the franchise's second championship and first in Philadelphia. So happy return to Philadelphia of Wilt Chamberlain Day on this day in 1965. And that is your day in Philadelphia sports history. Yep. Back when basketball mattered to me, well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I wasn't around 1965, but basketball was a huge part of my life as a kid. And even into my young adulthood, I was a huge fan of the NBA and college. I can't stomach it now. I can't even watch it. I honestly can't even stomach the product, either one. And it's a shame that they've ruined basketball for me. But Wilt Chamberlain, no doubt one of the legitimate greatest players in Sixer history in Philadelphia basketball, to go along with Doc J and Allen Iverson. But we haven't had one of those players in a long time, and I don't know who is the next. Certainly was not Joel Embiid, as his career has somewhat been a bunch of unrealized potential. But back when there were superstars in this town, his name was Wilt Chamberlain. And on this day in 65, he returned to the Sixers. Remember, he left town with the Warriors when they moved out to San Francisco. So there you have it. And that was brought to you by our network as a general. Today you had the Gridiron Weekly that was on a little bit earlier. Then you got me, and then you'll have me later on again. This is a twofer with the post game. We're not going to actually cut the stream and go to a different show. We're going to do the same thing. I'm just going to give you a post game show here to kind of wrap up your night. No Birds Blast tonight. This was the first night that we felt the sting of that all season long. I'm not having a Birds Blast. Of course, the Birds Blast will be back. It will be back at the end of the season. So the Thursday after the Super Bowl, we'll come back for one final episode, me and Kyle, and send you out on a positive note. Probably not on a positive note. I ain't gonna lie to you there. That's what the hell that ain't sort of my calling card, but we will be back at the end of at the end of the season. So make sure you're tuned in for that. All right, so let's get into what we came for tonight. The big story in Philly today. Are you on Bo Bichette watch, MattyB? You know what, Jose? Listen, I just kind of went on a little mini rant on that. I'm not on a Bo Bichette watch. I'm on an anybody watch at this point. I'm so starved and deprived for any sort of move that I'm just on a watch. Give me something. Get me something to get excited about. The Phillies did make a move today. I guess we'll get into that. Phillies did make a move. They acquired a player. They acquired a player from the international pool. Now, it's a pretty big deal if you're, into that thing. Francisco Renteria, the number 3 overall international prospect. He's from Venezuela. He's an outfielder. Signed with the Phillies today, which is great. He won't be in pinstripes until another 3 or 4 years. So back when we stink, a la like Bobby Abreu type of situation, when all we had was him, Francisco Renteria will probably be a big name here around circa 2029, circa 2030. But that ain't helping me out in March, right? But it's a nice move. It's good that the Phillies are involved in some international stuff and getting some international players, and they all don't want to go to the Dodgers. I guess from Latin America, it's fair game for anybody, except if you're from Asia, then it's the Dodgers. I don't know how that works or why that's like that, but it is what it is. But we did make a move today. But it's not enough to feed the beast, man. It really ain't. In a very pivotal offseason, in an offseason where you just could not ignore a change needed to be made. A change had to happen. Significant change. They did nothing. They looked at you and they looked at me and us and said, no. For X, Y, and Z, I don't know the reasons. Money is probably up there top of them. We're going to run around back. And all this Bo Bichette stuff. Honestly, I think it's a wag the dog. I'm starting to believe it. Trying to get our attention diverted away from what was a terrible offseason plan. There was never any intention to change things this year. And that's what upsets me a lot. I don't need the Bo Bichettes. I don't need the Kyle Tuckers. I don't need, those kinds of signings. I really don't. I just wanted something different. Right? And obviously with the re-signing of Kyle Schwarber, that was the move, right? That was the big one. And I feared that was going to be it. And that was a clear-cut sign that we were running it back. And if you don't know that, and if you couldn't grasp that, then you got bigger problems than I can help you out with, because that was an obvious sign that they were running it back. And this whole Bo Bichette stuff, I'm believing. Now, I'm not saying that there is not negotiations, and I'm not saying that the Phillies might be close to getting him. I am telling you, though, I don't think they were interested in Bo Bichette at all this offseason. I thought they keep an eye on everything, which smart people do, but there was no serious interest in Bo Bichette, right? First of all, Toronto had to decide not to want him, and they did by signing that Japanese third baseman. And then, honestly, for the Phillies to get into this, I believe it was purely because of JT Realmuto's stubbornness in signing a contract. If JT would have signed that contract with the Phillies, and he still might, but if he would have signed it a month ago, there would be no Bo Bichette discussion. No, none. This, to me, is prompted by the fact that JT still sits as a free agent. And they can't get that deal done for whatever reason. That, to me, this Bo Bichette stuff is all about that. And that's terrible because it's a run back, and I can't stand that. So am I on Bo Bichette watch? Yes. But I'm on anybody watch at this point. I don't care. I was on Francisco Renteria watch. That's up today. Even though before today, I had no idea who that was. And then Ranger Suarez yesterday signing with the Red Sox. Again, not overly upset about that. Might be a little bit overly upset about that come October when we don't have that utility knife there, that ability to plug and play a pitcher in any situation that Ranger did so aptly well in the postseason for us. I might be upset about then. I'm not upset about it now. And, Joe Hale mentioned last night that the Phillies will be compensated because they tendered Ranger way back when. He rejected the qualifying offer. So that protects the Phillies with draft compensation. But here's the thing, Joe, and I forgot to mention it to you last night. We ran a little late. That compensation is going to be minimal, though, because the Phillies are a luxury tax violator. And that diminishes the return on your lost qualifying offer players. It's the collective bargaining friggin' balance of power they have in MLB. And if you're a luxury tax violator, depending on what threshold that you're violating, you get penalized with compensation. So, yeah, they're going to get compensated, but they're not going to get compensated as much as they could have been. But that's neither here nor there. That's not really a sway in my views at all. But, I mean, I don't know how any Phillies fan could be excited right now. I do know. this is a way to keep us excited to the start of the season because of this Bo Bichette stuff. So yes, Jose, to answer your question very longly, I am on Bo Bichette watch, but I'm more on anybody watch. Sunday, Joe, I can open them tonight. I think I'm gonna open up tonight. 6-1, about 10 minutes. 10 minutes? Yeah, about 10 minutes to go in the game. All right, let's get into what we came here for tonight. I want to play you the Nick Sirianni press conference. I want to get into this because I thought this was a big old waste of my time. And seeing how it was a big old waste of my time, I'm going to make it a big old waste of yours. So we're going to play some of this press conference for you. I want to play it. Oh, what the heck is going on there? That's not right. But yeah, I want to play you the Nick Sirianni press conference. Let me get to this here. Oh, what am I doing here? Stop screen. Sorry about that, everybody. Let's go to this. Oh, there we go. That's better. All right, here we go. Is everybody on? Is everybody got? Oh yeah, we're all set. There they are. Hey guys, let's roll the tape.
How about it?
Hey Nick, as things were going poorly on offense as the season went on, why not make a change at offensive coordinator, play caller during the season?
Yeah, we did some different things as we continued to go through. Like I told you guys, I did more, got involved more. At the end of the day, I did what I thought was best for the football team, and we didn't reach our goals, so obviously it didn't work out. But that's why again we did what we thought was best for the team.
Why'd you remove Kevin from that offensive coordinator?
Yeah, again, I think it's important that we continue to evolve as an offense, and that we go out and do what's best for this football team. And again, everything that.
So I want to stop it right there because we're about 30 seconds into this thing, and I want to punch him in the face. Does anybody else want to punch him in the face? Does anybody else want to walk up there and grab that hat, take it off his head, and slap him? This guy, and I don't think he's a stupid person. I don't. He's an arrogant SOB. But just his smugness, man, just annoys the hell out of me.
I do, and every decision I have to make, I have to do that with what's in mind, with just like Howie does, just like Mr. Lurie does, with the intent of being the best thing for the football team. And at this particular point, I love Kevin and everything that he has provided to this coaching staff for his 5 years here. Big reason why we've won a lot of football games. But at this particular point, I just felt like that's what I needed to do to be the best thing for the football team.
As you look for a new OC, what are the criteria for that position, and how do you want the setup to be with the coaching staff?
Yeah, again, you're looking to continue to evolve as an offense, and I'm looking to bring in the guy that's going to best help us do that. And there are, I think that there are many different ways to be successful on offense, and everybody has different styles. Everybody has different players, and there's many different ways to be successful. Like I said, I think you start to get into situations when you're.
All right. So obviously the first question right off the top rope was when the offense began to flag back in like week 2, why didn't he do more or make a move at any point during the season to try to save it? And then as we've gotten about 4 minutes into his response, which has actually provided you no knowledge of or information of why, just words, phrases, we're going to go in and out of different parables. It's just nonsense. He's basically alluding to the fact that it's his responsibility to try to make the team better, and he failed. And now he's on to that he loves Kevin. And again, this is what this press conference is. I just want to, for those of you who have not seen it and you're watching it for the first time, this is what this is for the next 20 minutes. It's a bunch of word salad, and we haven't really gotten to any answers yet. We've been 3 minutes into this, and he has not provided any clarity or any answers onto what really went wrong. And it gets worse before it gets better.
You're certain like this is the only thing that makes you successful in offense, and that's just not the case, right? There's a lot of different things and there's a lot of different ways to do it, and that's not only as an offensive coordinator, but a defensive coordinator, a wide receiver coach, a defensive line coach, a head coach. There's a lot of different ways to do it, and again, it's about going out and finding, the guy that best fits us. And looking forward to that interview process and being able to go through some really good candidates. And I'm looking forward to that.
Now, you look for a defensive coordinator. How important is it to have?
I'm looking. Go ahead.
Nick, is the expectation that you'll be just as involved with the offense as you have in the past with the collaborative approach, or is this coordinator going to run the offense and you'll focus on?
Yeah, I think that's really, that's way early. Those decisions don't have to be made until, for a long time. And there's always, as the head coach, you always have to be oversight of everything. And again, this year, obviously.
Okay, so I've never been a head coach in the NFL, but I've been a head coach at certain other levels of sports, various things in my life. Now, I've never held a press conference at the end of the season to explain why the thing imploded, nor have I ever held a press conference to explain why I'm hiring a new offensive staff. But you know what? It's not a hard answer. It's a yes or no. And the fact that you got to ask that question, that are you going to be in charge of this offense, or is this new person going to be in charge of this offense? The fact that you even have to ask that question really tells you everything you need to know about how bad things are here. We got a guy here that, and then he can't commit. He's not going to commit to any answers here. He's not going to say yes. He's not going to say no. I don't understand how the fans of the Philadelphia Eagles, certain fans, I know there's some out there that are seething tonight just like I am, but how certain people that could look at this man right now in this press conference. Granted, I get it. It's word salad. This is what these things are. But how you can look at this man and have any faith or confidence in his ability as a long-term solution here in Philadelphia, and to not look at him as anything but more of a buffoon and like a circus clown. I mean, dude, be a man, say no. You've already kind of seen this, that I don't know what I'm doing, or, I think we're going to continue down the road of how things have been. Or, yeah, I'm the head coach. Everything is mine. We're going to do what we got to do. We're going to work together. No one's in charge of this team but me. I'm King Dick, right? No, we get this. We get this nonsense, this wishy-washy in and out crap from this guy that doesn't answer anything. It's extremely frustrating listening to him talk.
I got involved more in the offense as the end of the season came, but because that's what I needed to do as the head football coach there. And so, again, many different ways to do it. I know that I want to be the head football coach, and I think that, that's what the team needs. Again, everything I'm doing is not about what I want to do or anything like that. It's what I think is best for the football team. And, I think it's best for the football team when I'm the head football coach, and being able to give my expertise on, whatever it may be, tackling, taking the ball away, protecting the football.
What the hell is he talking about? What the hell is he? He was asked a question. Would the new guy be in charge completely of the offense, or would there be a collaborative approach? Now we're getting a lesson about tackling and taking the football away and being a head coach. Why can't you say yes or no and then move on to the next question? I would have much more respect for him than this. This is a joke, man. An absolute friggin' joke.
Anything on off, it could be anything, special teams. So, again, you have to be so intertwined as the leader of an organization. You have to be so intertwined with every different thing. And so, we'll see where all that goes, as far as that goes. But, we've had a lot of success, doing it different. Again, it's never like this is the certain thing you have to do. And it's like there's a lot of different ways to do it, and different times of the season and different times of the year call for different things. And so we'll see how that plays out. But that's not something that's, that's not where we're not there yet as far as that goes.
Howie, I was going to ask you, as far as an offensive coordinator, as you're looking for one, does it matter? Would you like someone to stay here longer than 1 year? Is that taken into account? And will he be given maybe the freedom to build his own staff?
It's a great compliment when guys get head coaching jobs from here, because it means we're having tremendous success. So, as much as you'd like to have continuity and like to have guys here.
Okay, before fraud number 2 gets started, I just want to point something out, and that's something I've heard a lot today and yesterday and the day before. when it comes to this offensive coordinator getting, poached from the team to go become head coaches. Yes, it's happened. Absolutely. It's happened to two of them, right? Steichen and Moore. They've been hired on as head coaches elsewhere. But those were also external hires, come from outside the organization. And there's also been two offensive coordinators that have not gone on to become head coaches. They literally have gotten fired after 1 year. And Johnson and now Patullo. So I don't want to hear this anymore about the compliment and go over, it's a testament to us and them and blah, blah, blah. To me, it cancels itself out. They've had two that have gotten hired as head coaches, and they've gotten two that have been fired after their first season. So to me, it's just like anything else with this organization. It's inconsistent and it cancels itself out. So I'll let fraud number 2 here talk as we go into this.
Here for a long period of time. We want to win. We have an urgency to win right now. And if that comes with the ramifications that we lose good people because they've earned head coaching jobs, we'll live with that.
Nick, as far as Kevin, as far as building the staff, will you be given the freedom to bring in his people to work on staff with him?
Yeah, again, that's, we'll see where that is. And, to say what, to answer that question, like you'd have to know exactly who you're hiring exactly right now and who he has and what they have. Again, we'll get to all that.
All right. I mean, in Nick's defense, they're putting him on the spot, and that's it. It's a legitimate response to that question. I mean, he doesn't know, right? But to Howie's response, it's something we have to live with losing offensive coordinators after just one season. That to me says that they're going after someone that's experienced. That they don't care. They don't care that the turnstile of offensive coordinator will continue. They'll take their chances with that. So to me, that means obviously outside the organization, and it's going to be one of these confirmed former NFL coaches that have offensive coordinator experience, i.e. Stefanski, i.e. McDaniel. To me, that's the direction they're going. I know there's been a lot of talk what direction this team will go. I of course, have mentioned the dark horse candidate of Phillip Rivers, the new up-and-coming guy. He's completely off the board, but, somebody like that. But to me, by Howie's response, but, it's something we'll live with, essentially. That means we're going out and we're going to hire someone with some clout and some experience, and we're going to just, do it year to year if we have to, which, I know it's something you live with in the NFL, and I know it is. Okay, I get that. But, when you're dealing with the quarterback that we have, don't you think? And isn't that one of the rally points of the Hurts huggers? He doesn't have any constant continuity. He doesn't have any consistency. We got to get him a offensive coordinator that's here with him a few years, and he's had 1 or 12 now in his career, whatever it is. Doesn't that sort of go against everything that they want? And is that really the best thing for Jalen? And as far as the other part of this about the whole staff thing, there's some truth into what he's stumbling around with, right? Obviously, he doesn't want to be pressed into a corner and say, absolutely, because then that will reveal his hand that they're going after some sort of known commodity. But they're going to bring in their own people. It'll be done. But to sit there and try to pigeon-toe him about, is that what you're doing? Yeah, that's kind of an unfair question to ask. But be a little bit more of a man about how you answer it. This stumbling around, no, I can't answer that. Next question. That's a ridiculous question to ask me at this particular moment in time. What's the next question? Come on, man.
Our job right now and our thought process right now is to get the best candidate possible, cast a wide net there, and interview some of these great candidates that are out there and find the best guy that fits the Philadelphia Eagles.
And I would say this, I just would say, with Coach, I got a lot of things that I'd like to say about Coach and the job that he's done here. Incredibly proud of him. But, he's shown that when we bring people in that he's open to doing whatever's best for this football team. And that's all he cares about is winning. And so anything that he's answering here obviously is dependent on who we bring in. But when he's brought in people, he's given them the flexibility to put their own spin on things. And obviously, I sit here and I feel incredibly grateful that I'm working with someone who, as a head coach, is elite at being a head coach, elite at building connection with our team, elite about talking about fundamentals, game management, situational awareness, bringing the team together, holding people accountable. And when you're looking for a head.
All right, again, now we're into a Nick Sirianni testament. I don't a testimonial. What is this, man? I mean, I am so ashamed to be an Eagles fan.
Coach, those are really the job descriptions. And as you're building out a coaching staff, you're talking about being able to do that, being able to have elite play callers on both sides of the ball. And when you think about how hard it is to find those three things and that we have one, I mean, we're starting with a huge advantage. So I think that puts us in a great spot.
As far as Kevin goes, because of the statement, there was some thought that he might remain in the organization in a different role. Is that possible?
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. I know Kevin's going to have other opportunities, and obviously always want what's best for Kevin and for his family. And so we'll see how that plays out.
Question is for both Howie and Nick. What role do you guys see that Jalen Hurts had in the offensive progression this year?
Again, when you talk about I think what I felt throughout the year was there was a lot of questions on Kevin, and like I've said to you guys, like we all had a hand in our offense this year, good, bad, you name.
Okay, we all had a hand in the good, bad, indifferent part of the offense this year. So why the hell was Kevin Patullo the only one fired? If they all had a hand in it, and if they all were responsible for it, why do they only fire the offensive coordinator? And why was the offensive coordinator fired? I mean, if everyone's going to, admit joint responsibility for the failed offense, then why fire the offensive coordinator? Again, this to me, we are a passionate sports base here. When it comes to we're not the most intelligent sports base, but we are passionate. But let me tell you what, this is straight insulting our intelligence as a fan base. Don't sit up there and tell me that, we all had a hand in this. Well, what the hell are you doing sitting up there then? Why weren't you fired? Why weren't you sent down, the lane of pink slip world? Why? You're going to sit here and be the noble one here and say that we all had a hand in this? Well, then why in the hell wasn't Nick Sirianni fired? Or why wasn't the other aspects of the offensive coaching staff, Jeff Stoutland, why wasn't he fired? Why wasn't other coaches fired? Just the offensive coordinator. It's embarrassing. This is an embarrassing press conference.
Name it. We all had a hand in it, and that's every coach, every player, myself, obviously at the front of that list. But again, I love Jalen Hurts. I love everything that he brings to the table. Every time you step on the field, you feel very confident you can win any game that you're going to play when you have him as your quarterback, and he's shown that to this organization, to myself, to Howie, to the city, that he's a winner, and he is able to do many different things at a very high level. But again, anything that whether it was winning the games or whether it was us not play up to our performance on offense, we all have our hands in that, and that's what again I love about this team. Everyone's looking at themselves first and foremost to say, what could I have done better in this?
Well, not everybody. Kevin Patullo is out of a job, so he's not looking at himself wondering these things. He's wondering, where do I get my next paycheck from? And as far as this little Jalen Hurts rant, it's a lie. If you're asking me, it's a lie. He doesn't love Jalen Hurts. I think he's tired of dealing with Jalen Hurts. I think he's tired of dealing with Jalen Hurts on the field. I don't know about their personal relationship, but I don't think I think Nick Sirianni would love to have the opportunity to coach one of these other quarterbacks. Right? I honestly do. And he's telling you what you want to hear right now, and that's fine. But I don't see the love between the two of them on the field. I see a very disjointed operation offensively with this football team. And for something to go as bad as it did for as long as it did, 18 games or 18 weeks, 17 games, don't sit here and tell me that it was a matter of firing the offensive coordinator and things are going to be better. There's something deeper about this offense. There's something deeper about the problems on this football team that go beyond the offensive coordinator. and it rests in the hands of the quarterback and the head coach. Don't tell me it's not the truth. Don't tell me that bringing in a new offensive coordinator is going to change this football team overnight. It's not. The two main problems of this team are still here. And this, I love Jalen Hurts as a football player and blah, 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 blah. I mean, I'm not buying it, man. I don't know their personal relationship or what have you, but if they took Hurts out of the equation and brought in a different quarterback, I think Sirianni would be thrilled. Honestly, I think he'd be thrilled.
Scenario. And that's why I love these players that Howie's brought in. You feel that's why we have the connection that we do, is that everybody is saying, man, if I had done this or if I had done that. You do that after game, you do that after your reflection of the year. And again, you, in this great team sport, you win as a team, you lose as a team. And yeah.
Howie, how did you view the quarterback play this year?
Yeah, we all got to look at ourselves and what we could do better. I think, it's a disappointing season. We sit here and want to be playing right now. And I think for that, getting a chance to really go back and reflect. Sometimes when you're in the middle of the season, you're week to week and you're kind of,
at least Dave Dombrowski had the sense and courage to say Bryce Harper didn't have an elite season. I much preferred that than this. I much preferred Dave Dombrowski going right at the core of the problem and saying it wasn't an elite season for Bryce Harper. And then I get this side of it, which is the other side of that
going through
answer.
And what happened last week and what are you doing this week? And so I think what coach has said, we have won a lot of games with Jalen as our quarterback. We've won a world championship with him as an MVP in that game. And so I think, obviously, he's done a tremendous job as our starting quarterback.
AJ expressed the happiness throughout the season.
Sometimes I feel like we need like a deli counter and just like pick numbers and go from here.
If it makes sense, are you open to trading him, or is that just a non-starter?
Yeah, we talked about this, I think, at the trade deadline last time I talked. It is hard to find great players in the NFL, and AJ is a great player. I think from my perspective, that's what we're going out and looking for when we go out here in free agency in the draft, is trying to find great players who love football, and he's that guy. So I think that would be my answer.
Nick, you mentioned finding a fit for the Eagles. What are you looking for in a candidate's plan for Jalen, especially to the past year, the way defenses were playing him different?
Yeah, again, there is not, as I said to you guys, it's not like, hey, this is what it has to be. There are many different ways to do this. And I think sometimes in this game, we're like, some people are just they're so certain that it's like.
All right, this is going to go on and on for the next 14 minutes, just like this, and the same type of answers to the questions. It's very frustrating. And then to caveat what he said about AJ Brown, what are you saying? I don't come out of this press conference at all, and I didn't think I was going to. Right, I didn't think I was going to come out of here with a great revelation of, oh, okay, they get it. And this is what they're going to do. They're not going to tell anybody that. And I understand all that, but it's embarrassing to listen to them fumble around and try to add words into their thesaurus there and utilize these words during a 25-minute press conference. So basically what I got out of this, what I was able to boil down, was that we all had a hand in this problem as an offense. Yet we're only firing the coordinator. He's the only one that apparently had too much to do with it. We can't live with him anymore. So we're all staying, and we're firing him. It's a great testament to our organization that when we bring in offensive coordinators, they get plucked as head coaches. Yes, it is. But it's also a great concern about the organization that anytime the head coach promotes from within, that person gets fired after 1 year. So again, that offsets in my opinion. I love Jalen Hurts, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he had a good season, right? Because that's what I got from it. That was a combination of Nick and Howie about Jalen Hurts. I love him as a football player, but I'm not going to sit here and give you a definitive answer how he performed in 2025. Again, I appreciate Dave Dombrowski's honesty when it came to Bryce Harper. That was the only thing about that press conference that actually grabbed me by the cojones. As far as the candidate to replace Kevin Patullo, obviously it's coming from the outside, and obviously it's going to be a seasoned former head coach who may or may not bring his own staff. We'll have to wait and see. So in a nutshell, that was what I had that we listened to for 24 minutes. And again, I'm not going to bore you with the entire thing because it's just a bunch of that back and forth. And coming out of that press conference, I feel absolutely nothing but concern for the Philadelphia Eagles going forward and who they've left in charge. So there you have it. There's the Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni abbreviated press conference. Again, I'm not going to get into all that. Fire the general manager. I think Ricky's just trying to poke my bear here. But all right, let's open up the phone lines. Let's get into that. By the way, the Flyers game has gone final. They have lost 6-3 in Pittsburgh. We will get the clear the ice going here in a little bit. But phone lines are now open if you want to jump on board. While we wait here for some callers, let's talk NFL football. We do have some football games coming up on Saturday and Sunday. And even though we don't have a Birds Blast, I'm still going to provide you my pick'ems for the week and talk about what happened. I'm sorry, on Sunday. We have no Saturday football. Oh, yeah, we have a Saturday game, don't we? Yeah, isn't the Denver game on Saturday? Yeah, there's a Denver game on Saturday. Is it 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday? All right. I'm going to give you my pick'em segment for the week. I was 5-1 during Wild Card Weekend. The only game I got wrong, Wild Card Weekend was the Eagles game. I picked the Eagles. But other than that, I batted 1,000 after that. So I was 5-1 for Wild Card Weekend. Into this weekend's coverage, Seattle, San Francisco. Yeah, I think a real football team beats San Francisco. Give me the Seahawks in this game. LA and Chicago. I like the Rams, Buffalo, and Denver. I think that's the game of the week, personally. And I like Buffalo. This Josh Allen's going to do it, by the way. You do know that, right? So everybody coming to grips with that too. Josh Allen's going to win a Super Bowl this year. I'm just saying. And Houston versus New England. Give me New England in that game. So it'll set up an NFC Championship game between the Seahawks and the Rams, and the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. Classic battles, NFC West versus AFC East in the championship games, man. That'd be pretty fun to watch. So there you have my picks for the week. 5-1 Wild Card Weekend as we take that into the divisional round. Michael Papernick joins me on the program. Michael, what's up?
What's up, Matty?
Just hanging, man. How you doing?
So I'm doing all right. Yo, real fast. Listen, the Bills better get there, or these fans up here are going to get the wrath of Mike. I'm telling you. But all right, did you see the Eagles? If they trade AJ Brown before June 1st, what the cap hit is?
Yeah, it's like, was it 16 million or something? Or
43? No.
Yeah.
Ready? If Brown is traded this offseason before June 1st, the Eagles would incur a dead cap charge of $43 million.
Yeah.
Right now after that, okay, if it's traded, it breaks down like in the two between this, if it's after June 1st this year, and it goes into next year, the other half.
Yeah, and next year's like 27 million, right?
That's if it's after June 1st, if they trade him. Yeah.
I saw that. Listen, I don't, are the Eagles are better off with AJ Brown or without him, Mike? What do you think?
Well, I mean, yeah, they're from a football standpoint, they're better with him.
Even with Jalen Hurts.
I mean, yeah, because they showed they could play together. Look at last year. Look at the year before.
Yeah. I'm looking at. I mean, well, last year as in 2025. You're talking about this past season? They played well together.
No. Well, not this season. He had 1,000 yards this season. He had 1,000 yards the year before. You see, I mean, they can play together. I mean, that's what I'm getting at. I'm talking just the football player himself. Yes, he makes the team better, but without him on here, I mean, all the distraction stuff. No, you don't want that. I mean, but Howie's gonna have to work his magic with this one.
Yeah, I think it comes down to either how easy is it going? Is it going to be easier to fill the void of trading AJ Brown and bringing in another talent to replace him, or is it going to be easier living with him? That's I think what it boils down to.
Well, I don't know about that. I think that cap hit, I think, has a lot to do with it.
Oh yeah,
Because I mean, that's what I'm getting at. So I don't unless, like I said, unless he can work his magic around that somehow, before like, because if he's going to get traded, it's going to be around the draft or somewhere in that area before June 1st. They're probably, I don't know. He's gonna have to work his magic on this one, and if it's true that Jalen is here for another 2 years, I didn't ever look that up. Where you can't trade him or something, you have to wait 2 years.
Well, it's a no trade clause, so he can always
that's
waive the no trade clause and accept the trade, but it would be the teams. He'd have to provide the Eagles with a list of teams to be moved to, but he does have a straight no trade clause, so the Eagles cannot willy nilly just trade him.
Now here you go. Here's a team that if Aaron Rodgers don't go back to Pittsburgh, would he go to Pittsburgh?
It might depends on who the new head coach is.
That's what you see. I'm just saying. I'm just using that could think they have DK there. They have pieces in play there. I don't see Jalen going. I think Jalen's got another year in Philly. I think Howie's if it just does the same thing next year. I think Howie, if he can't trade him, I think he could release him and probably because he's already got that. He probably just cut him. He's already got it.
Yeah.
He probably wouldn't care then. I think there's another year with Jalen. That's about it. If it don't straighten you out. Here's the bad part. They have to bring in an offensive coordinator like a Monken that don't want a head coaching job for one reason only. You said it. He's a sitting duck without the contract. Without 1 year. You think he's going to feel happy having Stefanski sitting there, or a Cliff Kingsbury, or a Brian Dable, knowing they were all head coaches in the NFL and can run a team? And this guy,
well, based on the press conference today, yeah, I think he would be fine with it. Now, I don't know if that was all smoke and mirrors, but based on what Howie said during that press conference, he said, I don't care about the 1 year stuff, man. I really don't, because it's a testament to the organization that the people they bring in from the outside get plucked to become new head coaches. Yet the internal players or the internal people they get promoted get fired after a year.
I'm not talking about that. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, do you think Nick is going to be happy having a possible one of three or former head coaches in the NFL as his offensive coordinator, knowing that he's on the hot seat probably, and they could be the guy that takes over for him if it starts to go down? Well, how's he going to feel having that guy there, Dable, Stefanski, or Cliff Kingsbury? And I really don't want any of them coaching this team.
I don't know how that's going to make them feel, but that's going to be some interesting must-see TV next year if that's the case.
Well,
I don't know, but you're right. It's a good point.
How about John Harbaugh? 5 years.
Who called it?
$20 million.
Who called it?
You did. But here's the thing. Why would you got to be a blind man with a seeing eye dog could have took that contract? $20-some million a year for 5 years, over 5 years.
Yeah.
If he tells me God put him there, he uses the Reggie White line. John, just come out and say, look, did you see the contract they gave me? That's why I took this job. There's no other reason why I took this job. My mom and dad didn't raise an idiot.
When John Harbaugh became available, the Giants started salivating. They're like, we're getting him now. And it's a smart move for the Giants. They got to repair their relationship with their fans. They got to try to bring this team back into relevancy any way they possibly can. And that went a long way. And I know the Giants are not going. I mean, I don't know. In the way the league is now with the parity, you can't tell year to year anymore how anybody's going to be. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you the Giants can't go from what they were this year to a playoff team next year. I'm not going to sit here and say that they can't do that. They most definitely can if things break right. But John Harbaugh just made the NFC East that much more difficult. Starting next year. And I don't care what a lot of Eagles fans will be like, I'm not scared. Well, you need to be scared of John Harbaugh because he's a professional coach under Andy Reid. He knows how to build a football organization. It may not work in 1 year, but it's going to work eventually. And they're going to come back and they're going to be relevant again.
The biggest winner out of all this is Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin's sitting there going, man, I won Super Bowl. I won divisions. I made the playoffs. I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
John Harbaugh, you just got me paid. Because there you go. Come on, now pull the trigger. Bring Mike Tomlin here. Put him in there.
Why not? I don't know. Can you see Jalen Hurts and Mike Tomlin working together? I can't see that. Nah. I can't see that.
It would depend.
Mike Tomlin and AJ Brown working together. I don't know if I can see that either.
No, I don't see that. But then again, I mean, I don't know how he handled DK after that incident. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe that's why one of the reasons why he's left. He don't want to deal with that guy.
Mike, we got breaking news.
All right, you got to go.
Coming down.
Uh-oh.
Breaking news, Mike. Listen to this. Jeff Passan is reporting Kyle Tucker and the Dodgers are in agreement to a multi-year contract. Kyle Tucker is on his way to the two-time defending World Series champion LA Dodgers.
And they got one thing that we don't have. They got pitching.
What's that?
So
pitching.
Yeah. So Dodgers win that division. Even though, let me just say something to you. For a guy who only averages like 20-some home runs a year, and they were going to get, and there was rumors out there's a $400 million contract or whatever he was supposed to get, he ain't worth the money. If he gets $40 million a year, let me tell you something. I'm going to start training that kid from now till he gets old enough. And all you got to do is hit 15 home runs, and you make $40 million a year, kid.
Let's see if they got details about the contract. I know it's just broke, but it's official. He's going to the Dodgers.
He didn't go to the Mets. That's a good thing.
That's a good thing. But he's staying in the NL, and he's staying with the team worse than the Mets, in my opinion, because it's a team that will definitely have to go through in the postseason. Yeah,
but here's the thing: the Mets made the Phillies look like geniuses. For all the moves they didn't make, they made the Phillies look so like they're the stars. You know what I mean? Like they're geniuses. I mean They let Alonso go. They traded everybody. They discovered everybody out there. They have nobody.
Yeah, and
Tucker ain't going there.
Scares me. Well, Tucker.
I
thought Kyle Tucker might have ended up there. I was kind of hedging that way. Somewhere in New York, either the Mets or the Yankees. You know, I thought Bellinger's going to go back to the Yankees. He's got to. They got to bring him back. Well, they got to bring him back. Point. They have no choice. You know what I mean?
Here you go. The Phillies all of a sudden, Bichette's going to be a Met. Watch. 10 years, $400 million.
Yeah, that's the dark horse team out of nowhere. The Mets are going to sign Bo Bichette over the weekend. Yeah,
what's that going to hurt? Who's he got protecting him? He's got Francisco Lindor, whoever his name is, the shortstop. That's all he's got.
Yeah, it would be Sosa. What? No, I would bet
Soto,
Bichette, Sosa, and then Lindor. I put Bichette ahead of them. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd have Lindor try to protect Sosa.
I'd walk all three of them. Yeah. I'd walk all three of them. Tell everybody else to beat us.
They
ain't got nobody else. And they have, you know what? I wish he played for the Phillies. That kid's got an attitude, but I wish he played for the Phillies. Yeah. But their pitching staff's a shambles. So the Phillies, if they get second place, it's because the Mets are a shambles, or if they get third place, it's because the Mets are a shambles. But it's going to come down to the Phillies and the Mets battling for third, I think.
Yeah, it will. I don't know, man. But again, I've been wondering. Somebody asked me earlier tonight, am I on Bo Bichette watch? I'm on anybody watch right now, and Kyle Tucker was one of those. But now Tucker's on his way to the Dodgers. It's a deflating offseason, Kaepernick. But thankfully, we're getting close. I don't know if it's a thankful thing we're getting closer to the start of the season, because I don't like the team right now. I can't stand this team right now. So
I don't like it either. Yes. And it ain't just that. You got the manager yet. He's going to roll Schwarber number 2. No. This is going to be a lineup. It's going to be Turner, Harper, because he said he's going to put Harper, Schwarber, and Garcia, whatever his name is, Garcia. Whatever.
I forgot about that guy. I forgot we signed him. Yeah,
that's going to be him. He's going to bat fourth. But they were talking about putting Bichette fourth and putting Garcia fifth. I was one of the reports going at them. I'm like, seriously?
Yeah.
You're going to put Bo Bichette?
Yeah. It's
I don't know how Dom Mattingly is going to be able to sit there with this moron. and watch the moves he makes and go really like that. That's a baseball move. I could teach my 4-year-old grandson how to do what he's probably thinking.
I agree. All right, Papernick, we'll talk
You have a
next
good
week,
night.
man.
All right.
All right. Michael Papernick, everybody. And yes, so it's official. Kyle Tucker. I don't have any details on the contract, but Kyle Tucker is a Dodger. Barbara, I'm here for the Flyers. I'm here. Okay, Flyers embarrassed me again. Yeah, we're gonna get into some Flyer post game here in a little bit. Holy cow, Tucker went to the Dodgers. Yes, he did. Breaking news on the show. Oh my God, I did. My watch dinged as I was talking to Papernick, and she's on Hertz watch. Wishful thinking. Fortunately, Barbara, that watch is going to be a few years. And I know that nothing in this world is permanent other than death and taxes. I get that, and I know that things can happen overnight. But we're at the very beginning of the 2025-26 offseason. We're not getting anything resolved with Jalen Hurts or Nick Sirianni or, God forbid, that other fraud, Howie Roseman, until the end of the 2026 football season. So it's a whole off season. It's a whole nother season. And then hopefully at this point next year, we can get through and we make some changes. But that might as well be a million years from now. And the prospect of going through another rotation around the sun with Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni is nauseating for me. But I feel you. I'm on Hurts watch too. But Joe Hale comes in. Joe, Kyle Tucker to the Dodgers. Joe, did you see it coming?
Yes and no. But I'll tell you what. Now they're reporting Bo Bichette to the Phillies now.
My notification bell didn't go off for that one. Kyle Tucker, it went off for.
I'm going to tell you why. Everybody's waiting for the top free agent to sign so it starts to get rolling. And from Jack Fritz's reporting, ready for this?
Let's do it.
Bo Bichette reached out to the Blue Jays, right? And the Blue Jays said no. They don't have any cap space.
Bo Bichette went back and tried to get back to Toronto?
Yes.
Really?
He's coming to Philly. It's going to be 9 years, $30 million. But
I'd do that. I'll do 9 years, $300 million.
Ready? JT goes to the Mets.
Yeah, I mean, they have young catchers there. They don't have anybody. Wait, Shea Langerly's no, he doesn't play for them anymore. But they have young catchers there. I wouldn't. Maybe. I mean, that pitching staff needs all the help it can get.
It's a fake news. MLB's reporting. MLB's not saying anything right now on Kyle Tucker. And
I'm getting this from ESPN. ESPN, Jeff Passan has reported it.
Which
I'm seeing this everywhere now. It's popping up everywhere.
Oh, because MLB would report it. Because
MLB doesn't really report things until they become signed, sealed, and delivered.
Okay.
They report on speculation, but they don't make bold comments like boom. You know what I mean?
Oh, all right. Hold on. I just saw it. Want me to tell you how much if it pops up again?
Yeah, you got the details because I can't find the contract length or the money.
4 year, $240 million.
How many? 4?
Yeah.
Ooh, 4 years and $240 million?
Yeah.
Damn. Jesus Christ.
It took less of a deal.
Yeah.
With that,
and with all of Ohtani's money in the back end of his contract, that's definitely doable for the Dodgers. Everyone forgot about the Dodgers. Everyone forgets about them.
What happens if they go over the luxury tax 4 times?
You get penalized losing draft picks. You get penalized in losing international signing bonus money. You get penalized in those realms of losing compensation.
That just happened with LA.
Yeah, they don't get. Phillies are over the threshold, or they're over like at least one of the thresholds.
You asked Papernick if AJ Brown's going to be here.
Well, I said I didn't ask him straight up if he'd be here. I said, can Jalen? Are we better off with him here, or not him, or with him not here? That's what I asked.
I think we're better off without AJ Brown.
Why is that?
because you got Devontae Smith. AJ Brown's a ball hog.
Okay.
You got Devontae Smith. You can go get a young wide receiver in an NFL draft.
Okay. We're talking about Howie Roseman, who was hit with 1 out of 6 wide receivers in the first round in his history as drafting wide receivers. He's not not a good drafter to begin with. He's a terrible wide receiver drafter.
Devontae Smith. Now
that was the one. What do I remember? Jalen Reagor? Remember JJ Arcega-Whiteside? I mean, do I got to keep on going down that list?
Was
he
that
got
under
one.
Howie?
Howie drafted all of them guys. Yes.
Was it? Okay.
That was Howie.
JJ trash side. I got you.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that can't be done, but do you trust Howie to do it? And that's what it comes down to. And that's a huge leap of faith. And I don't know. And there's a lot of money at stake here with dead cap and all that. And yes, 1,000-yard wide receiver. He does perform well. He's a game changer. He is. But is he worth all this every year?
Luis Ariz is visiting the Mets.
So that would be yeah, of course. Yeah, we'll go to the Mets. Yeah, just that's why we'll get a front row seat to see how good that guy is.
With that, they don't have room. Who plays second base?
Well, it's McNeil plays second, right?
No, didn't McNeil get traded to Oakland?
Not that I know of.
One of them got traded to Oakland.
I don't know who is the Mets second base. Let's see. I thought it was Jeff McNeil. Let's see, who is it? Oh, that's right. No, you're right. They brought in Marcus Semien. Yep, you're right. You got that. Yep.
Rice can play third for the Mets.
Semien, it was brought in by the Mets over the offseason, so they're not going to bring Luis Ariz in unless they move him to third base, where they do have sort of a vacuum problem at third with Beatty and not Vizquel, Vientos. They have sort of 2 younger players in that aspect. Maybe they bring him and make him play third.
So with Turner signing, does that open up the free agency market that everybody was expecting?
What was that?
Does that open up the free agent market that everybody's expecting now?
With Tucker signing, is he the domino that makes it all start to fall?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the most notable free agent in this market was Schwarber, honestly. I thought that he was going to be the one setting the pace. But obviously it wasn't, and it wasn't even Alonso. So maybe Tucker is that guy. Maybe he's the one that's going to start, loose up the dam and finally get some movement here. Maybe. I hope so. God, I hope so. I need something, man.
Bellinger to the Blue Jays sounds right.
I'm telling you, Bellinger, the Yankees ain't going to let him go. They're going to bring him back. The Yankees got nothing else. They got to bring him back.
Okay.
That's my opinion. But, also JT to the Yankees sounds interesting, too.
No, you want to know who offered him? The Pirates did.
JT's not going to Pittsburgh.
That is one that has been in talk.
They could pay him $100 bazillion. He ain't going there because he wants to win a ring. He wants to compete for the last go around of his career. He's not going to Pittsburgh.
Your hater scored 2 goals, by the way.
Who's my hater?
Minchkov.
It's 2 out of the 3 goals. So Minchkov gets back on the offensive plus side on a blowout night.
Yes, he had a nice assist.
Man, I don't know. So a 3-point night for Minchkov?
I believe so.
Wow. Of course, the story about the Flyers, and we'll talk Flyers post-game stuff later, but the story to me is the goaltending problems. It's the goaltending. Sam Ersson looking lost. Get the hook. Kovasov looking not much better. But we'll get into that. Anything else, Joe?
MLB, for the international prospect signing for the Phillies.
Yep.
MLB has them ranked number 3rd. And that is
3, yep.
Renteria's son. I didn't know that.
Yep, Francisco Renteria, yep. He's 3rd. He was the 3rd ranked prospect international wise, and it's a good get for the Phillies, but don't hold your breath. He's not coming for a hot minute, probably about 4 years, but he joins some good young international players. Eduardo Tait, he no longer plays for the Phillies because he's now a Twin. but he joins Arun Escobar, who is an international signing player that should make a push this year up at AAA. And if he doesn't get traded, which he probably will if they sign Bochette because he's a third baseman, could be something there. So it's a good move for the Phillies today. It was a very good move.
Tucker.
What's that?
It's a 2-year opt-out.
Player option, a player opt out after 2 years, or a club or a mutual?
Player.
So he can opt out in 2 years. Smart contract, smart man.
I can't believe it, but I guess we'll see what's next.
The Dodgers keep dodgering it up, man. Let me tell you what, they're an unstoppable force.
And it's funny, Clayton Kershaw got named to the
pitcher for the WBC. Yep. Yeah. That's good. Listen, some good baseball news, man. Get us excited a little bit about it. But definitely not the team you wanted to hear him going to. All right, Joe, listen, we'll talk next week.
No, Sunday.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's what I mean by next week. The next show, which is next week, Sunday.
And then Mike wants to open up the phone lines. This is going to be fun.
Mike's going to open up the phone lines on Sundays?
He said one time.
I'll be the first caller.
You should.
Matt from Mayfair, first time, long time. Yeah, I'll be the first caller.
All
right, Joe. Have a good weekend, man. Kyle Tucker is on his way to the Mets. Not the Mets. Now he's got me saying the Dodgers. Do the Dodgers three-peat? No one's been talking about the Dodgers at all this free agency, because how could they possibly afford to sign superstar players? Well, take a look at that Ohtani contract. All his money is back-ended for like the last 2 or 3 years of a 10-year contract. That's how the Dodgers do it, God damn it. Phillies should sign Zach Gallen. He's better than Nola. They should. I like Zach Gallen. He's a local guy too, right? Why the heck would the Mets want JT? Stability. I can see the Mets making a push for JT. I could, Barbara. Listen, JT is the shadow of himself offensively, but he still is somebody to be reckoned with when it comes to calling a game and defensively and all that. And for a team that's got a young, wonky pitching staff like the Mets do, it could really help them out. Eagles think they would get 2 number 1 picks for Brown, which is, of course, they won't. That's ridiculous. They're not going to get 2 number 1s for A.J. Brown. Because don't forget, whoever they trade them to, I'd inherit that salary. So they'll get I don't even know if they'll get a 1, maybe a 3, maybe like, for example, maybe a 3 and 26 and maybe a 2 and 27. I would do that if I was a GM. I'd trade for AJ in that regard. I'd give him a 3 and 26 and the Eagles a 2 and 27. But no, 2 1s, that ain't happening. That ain't happening. Baseball is dead. I'm done. Jeez. What's the point of competing with trash? Wow. It's not even watchable anymore. I disagree. I love baseball. There's no big free agents left, really, Bellinger. No, I mean, there's actually a few of them out there still, Barbara. With Kyle Tucker falling tonight, by the way, breaking news here on the network. Kyle Tucker to the Dodgers. I think Joe Hale said 4 years, $240 million with an opt-out after 2 years. So let's look at the big boppers. So Tucker's now on his way to the Dodgers. Alex Bregman, of course, signed with the Cubs. Kyle Schwarber returns to the Phillies. Bo Bichette is still out there. Cody Bellinger is still out there. Pete Alonso to the Orioles. Dylan Cease, he signed with the Blue Jays. Michael King on his way to San Diego. Ranger, of course, now a Red Sox. Edwin Diaz to the Dodgers. Framber Valdez still lurking in free agency. Eugenio Suarez. There's a name they keep an eye on. He's still available. I mean, do the Phillies settle on him if they cannot get the deal done with Bo Bichette? Josh Naylor signed a 5-year deal with Seattle. Trent Grissom actually accepted his offer. Luis Ariz is the player I wanted for the Phillies to sign way back when. So there's some names still out there. With the signing of Kyle Tucker, obviously one of those big names came off the net. But you know what? There's still some names out there. Mishkov is in 3/4 of the way being a bust. Yeah, it's not looking good for him. No, it's not. What time is the Eagles game Sunday? 1 o'clock, Barbara. Be there, be square. All right, so big time stuff here on the show. Kyle Tucker, a Dodger. We went over to some Eagle we went over some Eagle end of season reporting, and now we're going to transition because I promised you a twofer. We have Flyers, we have Penguins, we have Clear the Ice starting right now on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. That's right. It is the Clear the Ice, the Flyer postgame show with your boy MattyB on the call. You might have remembered me from a earlier telecast of the final word. Whoops, still got the final word stuff up here. I'm sorry. Let's take that down. It's not the final word. Flyers losers tonight, 6-3, and Pittsburgh and Ricky Deal. What happened in Pittsburgh tonight? I lost you, Ricky. Did you say go Flyers?
Mm-hmm.
Ricky, they lost 6-3. What happened, man?
Don't know.
Well, Ricky, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you what happened. I'm going to lead us into the postgame show with giving Ricky Deal my breakdown of what happened to the Flyers tonight in Pittsburgh. It's the old problems, Ricky Deal. It's lack of goaltending. I don't know what they're doing with Sam Ersson, but we talked about this on the show before. Sam Ersson getting another chance to once again prove he is not capable of playing goaltender at this level. 4 goals before yielding to Alexei Kovalev, who gave up 2 more, and the Flyers, powered by some poor special teams. Once again, their penalty kill biting them in the butt. Power play just not good enough. Find their way to a 6-3 loss, Ricky, and it's becoming a problem now. Now, what is it? It is 1, 2, 3, 4 winless in their last 4 games, Ricky Deal. And is the season over, Ricky, or can the Flyers still make the playoffs?
Make the playoffs.
I don't know, Ricky. I don't know, man. It's hard for me to say that, but Ricky Deal says the Flyers can still make the playoffs. But we're going to get a little bit more deeper into this game tonight, Ricky. I want to thank you for coming on as my very special guest here on the Clear the Ice program, Ricky Deal, and make sure we're back next week. All right, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my man Ricky Deal waited all that time to jump on and be my guest. Oh, the Flyers collapse shows that it wasn't Torts' fault. No, I never thought it was Torts' fault, Barbara. It's just the way the team is. Listen, they're better. I don't know. Don't get me sidetracked. Let's get into this game. So Pittsburgh, Flyers were in Pittsburgh tonight. Before the game even began, the Flyers decided to scratch Nick Delorier, Rasmus Ristolainen, and Dan Vladar dealing with that upper body injury. More to follow, of course, on the biggest story there is the Vladar situation and the goaltending problem in general. Alexei Kovalev was called up. This cannot be, now is the fact that Sam Ersson was in net tonight an indicator that the injury to Vladar is not that serious and that maybe it's going to be a couple nights, but a couple nights, 2-3 games, that's 2 or 3 losses with this guy in net. So I don't know how much I don't know. I'm getting frustrated because I've been pretty much crying for this move to be made months ago. For the Penguins, Kevin Hayes and Ryan Graves were healthy scratches for the Penguins tonight. Let's talk about the goaltending matchup. The Flyers started with Ersson. He did not finish it. 11 faced 14 shots, 11 saves, 3 goals given up, and a .786 save percentage to finish the game up tonight. Kovalev came in in relief, faced 16 shots, gave up 3 goals, and finishes the night with an 0.813 goal save percentage. For the Penguins, Skinner got the nod, and Skinner got the win. Faced 33 shots, 3 goals, and a .909 save percentage in the win for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Let's get into the game. Jacob Brazil would get the things going for the Penguins. The Flyers were a very sloppy team tonight when it came to committing penalties. It seemed like they were just penalty after penalty. 4 penalties tonight on the 4 penalties on the night for the Flyers, and more importantly, the Penguins registered 3 power play goals. Shorthanded penalty kill has been a problem all season. It's been a problem that's sort of been bubbling underneath the surface a bit, and over the past month, it has definitely reared its ugly head worse. They are now below 80% on the penalty kill for the year, and that is not good. And to go with the very anemic power play that has shown at times this season a little bit signs of life, but 0 for 4 tonight, that power play is down to about 13%. So you're not scoring on the power play, and now you're giving goals up shorthanded, and that's not going to work. That doesn't work. At least in the past, it was the bad power play, but we could always rely on a half-ass, or not half-ass, but a half-decent penalty kill. But that's not the case right now, as the Flyers give up their first goal of the night on the power play. Kindell and Matha get the assists at 2:16, and it was a tip-in play that caught the Flyers napping in their own zone shorthanded. Brazil got behind the defense. In this case, it was Emil Andre that sort of lost track of him out there. Now, we've seen these types of goals far too frequently given up by the Flyers this year, and tonight it reared its ugly head with the first goal. He was camped out right in front of Urson, and he's not going to make that save ever. So that gives you the 1-0 lead. Then the Penguins weren't done, because at the 12:25 mark, once again on the power play, Ryan Rust, his 17th from Letang and Crosby. Sidney Crosby. Sidney Crosby, 26 assists so far this season, to make it 2-0 Penguins. Again, a similar type situation. Russ sneaks in behind the defense. This time it was Travis Sanheim guilty of letting Russ camp out in front of Urson. Now the puck was shot sort of wide, but it deflected. I've seen the replay a couple times. The rule states very clearly that it has to be a definitive kicking motion in order to be considered not a goal, and it wasn't definitive. And the redirect off of Russ' skate past Urson to give Pittsburgh the 2-0 lead, and that is your scoring in the first period. The Flyers were outshot 13-8 in that period and trailed 2-0 heading into the intermission. In the second period, Igor Chinevkov would get his 6th of the year from Malkin and Novak to make it 3-0 at 1:16. And then just as it just seemed like the Flyers are going to get skated out of the building, Abus would come on and get the goal for the Flyers to get them back in this thing at least briefly, to make it 3-1 at 2:17 of the second period. His third from York and Grunderson. But then the straw that broke the camel's back, and one of those last-minute, late period goals, early period goals, you just can't have them. At 18:29, Blake Lizotte makes it 4-1. Penguins heading into the second period intermission. Shots on goal, or shots on net, it was 17. Flyers outshot Pittsburgh in that period, 17-13, as they tried to put on some pressure, but it did not work out. Flyers then Urson gave way to Kovalsov in the third period, but here comes Sid the Kid, the Flyer killer himself, his 25th goal. So he got 25 goals and 26 assists for the 45-year-old Sidney Crosby. Again, on the power play, the third power play goal of the night for the Penguins. Malkin and Raquel at the 3:10 mark of the third period to make it 5-1. And then the Pittsburgh Penguins would add on another one about a minute and a half later. This time it was Connor Dewar, his 9th from Novak at 4:27 to make it 6-1. The Flyers would battle their way somewhat back into this at the 10:54 mark. Nick Seeler. That's right. It's bad when Nick Seeler is scoring goals. Denver Barkey, though, gets his third assist, and Juleson as well, make it 6-2. And then MattyB Michkov, his 10th of the year. Only one goal for Michkov tonight there, Joe Hale. Michkov, his 10th from Barkey and Couturier, make it 6-3 at the 17:25 mark. But who cared at that point? It was all she wrote, baby. Flyers go down tonight 6-3. As I said, now winless in their last 4 games and being painfully outshot or painfully outscored. I believe now it's somewhere around like 29-7 as in their last 4 games. They're being outscored, and the goaltending issue is definitely a problem now. And we've obviously hit the worst skid of the season up to this point. In that third period, the Flyers outshot the Penguins 8-4. Again, Flyers 0-4 on the power play. Pittsburgh 3-4 on their power play. Doesn't really take a genius to look at 3-4 on the power play and wonder why you lost. Flyers gave the puck away 11 times, took it away 3 times, blocked 11 shots, yada, yada, yada. And there you have 6-3 is your final in Pittsburgh, as Crosby finishes the night with 2 points. Ever Barkey with 2 points for the Flyers, and that's a positive. You can pull out of this game as a young player is trying to kind of catch his footing in the NHL. But just a lot of bad signs when it comes to the goaltending situation. A lot of bad signs when it comes now to the special teams with this team. The penalty kill was never a problem. It wasn't great. It wasn't great last year. It was about 85%. The year before that, it was in the 90s. But this year has been a real problem. Again, I think we're now below 80% for the season. And to go along with a power play that's hovering around 13%, it's a lethal combination of bad. And the Flyers go down 6-3. The Penguins themselves aren't very good. Sidney Crosby looks like 50 years old. I don't know. I mean, 26 goals, 25 goals, 26 assists. I will take that from Cindy. Bring him here. Give me 25 goals and 26 assists. I love a player on this team to have that line. I got it. I can't stand Crosby either, but give the guy his due, man. He's still putting the puck in the net, and he's still helping his team win. I mean, good God. Can we have that? I mean, we got Nick Seeler scoring goals. Barbara, come on. Flyers power play is the worst in the NHL 5 years running. Yeah, and actually, I don't know if you believe this or not, but I've been actually keeping track of their power play since the 21-22 season. And I think they're like 100, what is it? Like 113 for like their last 1,300. That's like the number. I'd have to bring it up on the stat book here, but it's bad. It's about 14%. Now, actually, probably about 12% now. They're operating at about a 12% efficiency rate on the power play for the last 5 years. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Oh, Big L checks in. Kyle Tucker got 4 years from for 240 goddamn Dodgers. Yeah, Al, we've tonight's one of them old-fashioned twofers here on the Final Word. We did an hour of the Final Word and then the post game here. So yes, we talked about it. Matter of fact, the story broke here on the air, and we hashed it out a little bit. And I think the best thing we took from this was that maybe now the dam will be loosened. And we'll start hearing about more players getting signed. And perhaps Bo Bichette is a Philly, or Bo Bichette's a Met, or Bo Bichette's somewhere else. JT Realmuto's a Yankee, or whatever. Perhaps now we start seeing some movement on the free agent side as we are like danger close to the start of pitchers and catchers, February 12th, if memory serves correct. But yes, Kyle Tucker is a Dodger. And the Flyers lost 6-3 to the Pittsburgh Penguins. All right, listen, I want to thank everybody for their time tonight. We did a twofer. We did our Final Word, and then we did some Clear the Ice. Big stories tonight in Philadelphia sports. Of course, the word salad exit press conference of Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni. Don't really know what the hell they said. I think the things we pulled out of that was Nick Sirianni loves Jalen Hurts. We're probably going to sign a veteran former head coach as a new offensive coordinator, and we don't care about the 1 year crap. We'll keep doing it 1 year, whatever. And we all have a hand in the failure of the offense, but yet Kevin Patullo's the only one who got fired. So you try to make sense out of that. All I know is that we're going to have to endure another year of Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. And that to me is unstomachable and unfathomable that we scapegoated Kevin Patullo and that the fans of the Eagles are going to lap this thing up like the obedient lapdogs that they are. They're going to drink this stuff up and believe that that's all that ails this football team is the fact that we had a bum offensive coordinator. And it's sad. It's sad that I got to go through another rotation around the sun, listening to Nick Sirianni bumble and stumble his way through press conferences, providing no information, and then Howie Roseman backing it up with the same, doubling down on the no information thing. And tell me that it's a testament to the organization that the offensive coordinators they bring in get snapped back up for head coaching jobs. But yet, no mention of the fact that the internal hires from the organization get fired after 1 year. So any way you look at it, I guess there is consistency with the 1 year thing. We can't keep an offensive coordinator here for 1 year, either from being promoted outside to a different position as a head coach or getting fired here. It kind of cancels itself out if you ask me. But another year of it is incoming. And, hold Jalen Hurts close tonight, folks, because he needs it. Because we're all people, and we all require love and understanding and patience. But I've had enough. Had enough of this. And we know no card of the night, no other night segment tonight as we had the two first. So that's going to wrap my broadcast week up. So I'll be back Sunday for another week of this, whatever this is. Hopefully we have some news to talk about. Hopefully we're talking heavy baseball on Sunday and not Kyle Tucker to the Dodgers. Hope we're talking Bo Bichette or we're talking JT. I mean, something somewhere. Oh, yes, the Phillies did sign Francisco Renteria, the number 3 overall international prospect, according to MLB.com. The Venezuelan outfielder joins the organization. Don't hold your breath. He won't be here until about 2029, 2030. But it's another good young international player to go with the current crop of international players that we have. Gene Cabrera, the fireballer, who's sneakily rising within the Phillies system, should be in AAA this year, if not traded. Arun Escobar, promoted late last year into AA, will probably find his way to AAA at some point early on in the 2026 season. Eduardo sorry. I got all excited. I was going to say Eduardo Tait. He don't play for the Phillies anymore because he's a catcher. And, of course, we don't keep good catchers here. We get rid of them. He's with the Twins now. But he was a good international signing for the Twins. Who else was that? Hugh Pan Tin, the Korean pitcher, who's, I think, in Reading this year. Going to be in Reading. And is there anybody else I'm missing there? I think that's about it. So Francisco Renteria will join that group. Probably more than likely will join the Thrashers down there or not the Thrashers. He'll probably be with the FCL Phillies to start the year. Probably start the season in rookie leagues in 26 as they'll get him going through the minor league system starting in 2026. So welcome to Philadelphia, Francisco Renteria. Glad you're here and can't wait for 2030. And everything else that was in style this week. Flyers, are they knocking on death's door? Is this it? Have we peaked? And is it all downhill from now? We'll see. Got to figure out the goaltending situation. Got to shore up the penalty kill and got to find a way to put the puck in the net. I don't know what's going on offensively. Well, I do know what's going on offensively. They're just not good enough. And that's just the way it is. I want to thank everybody for being part of the show this week. We took a lot of phone calls. We did what we had to do. Thank you, Barbara. And hopefully you're back. Don't like not seeing you around, Barbara. Don't forget all the great programming here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Tomorrow, our weekend continues, or our weekend kicks off with the Philly Friday Frenzy with Big Al at 9. Then on Saturday, it is the best of the It's a Wrap sports for the week. All the programming that was seen this week will be replayed throughout the day on Saturday. Of course, sandwiched in there will be the Flyers, Rangers, Clear the Ice, which is me. I'll be back on Saturday for Clear the Ice. And then on Sunday, it's the Philly AM Sports Show and just me. That's it. Our Sundays have fallen off a cliff now that there's no Eagles or Steelers football. So welcome to the off season, folks. It sucks. But until we talk again, I guess on Saturday afternoon, you guys have a great night. Enjoy your weekend. I will see you.